Everybody, welcome to the CEN show, the sports, we call it the Second Take Sports Show, a part of the Community Education Network, hosted by Rashaki Maskani. Since the playoffs ended, we got down to the final two teams. Some monumental things have happened. The Knicks and the Pacers series, incredible series. For a minute there, the Knicks were favored going in simply because they had beat Boston, who we thought who in my opinion, was the favorite with a healthy Porzingis. Again, I stated during our first broadcast that I thought the Celtics were the team to beat if Porzingis was healthy, and they were the only team that could beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. As we well know, Boston lost Tatum, and even though they lost Tatum in that game, I think the Knicks were beating them simply because they were getting nothing from Porzingis. And they lost at home, went down at home 0-2. But make a long story short, since then, Jason Tatum torn ACL. He'd be out until probably 80% of next year. So Boston is looking real different. They're going to have to get rid of Holiday and Porzingis probably just for cap reasons. And there's been some rumors that they've even been shopping around Jaylen Brown, which is insane with what they got left. But, Boston right now is not a factor as far as the NBA championship for another year or so. The Knicks have gone further this year than ever, and what happens? Tom Thibodeau gets fired. Agree with the way Tibbs' coaching style or not, he took the Knicks further than they had been since the Van Gundy days. And in the 21st century, for sure. He runs his players into the ground. He plays them out too many minutes. They made some bad deals they gave up 4 first-round draft picks for Mikal Bridges, a guy who has never made an all-star team. So the problem with New York wasn't Tibbs, the guy who was constructing the roster, Leon Rose. At any rate, they're out, and we knew, and the Pacers played great, particularly on the road, and were frontable at home. So now we come down to the nitty-gritty, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. We'll have a first-time champion in the NBA and the 7th consecutive year that we've had a new champion. It just doesn't seem those dynasty days seem to be gone. We talked extensively about GOATs and things of that nature in the initial broadcast, but it's noted that probably the 3 greatest players career-wise in the NBA, LeBron, Steph, and KD, who are all still playing at an extremely high level, an all-star level to be exact. None of their teams were really significant in playoffs because of injury, because of roster construction, things of that nature. And the reality is they won't be contenders anymore unless Durant joins a contending team. And he's been talking about it. I know San Antonio's been looking hard at him. I would hope that the Thunder are looking hard at him. But he could change the balance of power wherever he may go if he goes to a contending team. But LeBron and Steph are pretty much stuck with the Lakers and the Warriors, and they're not going to win anything in the near future. Just because neither one of them have a viable NBA center. And if you don't have a good big man, the days of Draymond Green, guard centers, that's over. That can't work anymore. And he does a hell of a job. Best job I've ever seen. A guy who's 6'6" and a half, to be able to guard 5s effectively. Nobody has, I don't think, ever done that in the history of the game on a consistent basis. But be that as it may, we're down to the Thunder and the Pacers. I think, in the Thunder open up with Memphis. The Pacers open up with the Bucks. The Bucks were wounded ducks without Dame, no way they could win. Memphis and Oklahoma City was a sweep simply because they just were undermanned and they just couldn't compete. Um, then you get to the second round when the Bucks when who did the Pacers play in the second round? I know the Thunder played um, Denver, and that's who they claimed they wanted simply because they thought if they could beat Denver, they could beat anybody. Simply getting past Jokic. I wouldn't think that you would want to start off with him, but that series was challenging for them. Like last night, they lost the first game they played with Denver at home, 121 by 2 points. They lost last night by 1 point. The second game, they came back and beat Denver by 43 points. Indiana, what they did to the Knicks was just almost criminal. The way they beat them, uh, go to New York and lose at home, but then come back and close them out at home. You really don't. The Pacers are a tremendous team in many, many respects. They are deep. They have two guys on their bench that can lead them in scoring any night. Obi Toppin, I thought, was the best player on the floor last night for the Knicks. He had some huge timely shots. Andrew Nembhard, just amazing. Guarding his homeboy Shea, who he's been playing basketball since they were teenagers. There's two Canadians out there. Lou Dort, another Canadian, hit 5 threes. As I said earlier, Halliburton, the game that was one of the craziest games I've seen. But, as we all know, as basketball fans, ex-basketball players, basketball coaches, basketball is a make or miss game. If you're making shots, you look good. If you're making shots, your defense is better. If you're making shots, everything works. And it's about that. And Oklahoma City shot less than 40% for the second time all year. Was it due to Indiana's defense? Not when you're missing wide open shots. Um, I don't think, some of it had to do with Indiana's defense. Some of it had to do with that's just how the cards go some days. Make a long story short, they led the whole game until the last 3 seconds. 3 seconds of the game, and then Halliburton got the ball and did what he usually did. He probably was the Pacers' third or fourth best player at best in that game because Obi Toppin was balling. Pascal Siakam had a great game. Nembhard was just tremendous. Miles Turner did his little thing, hitting open threes, blocking shots. And it just was just beautiful basketball on both sides. But I don't think either one of them played to their capabilities. You're not going to see the Thunder shoot under 40% too many times. You're not going to see Indiana not even have a player score 20 points. That's this some games are just like they are just because of I don't know what you call it. I don't know if you call it coaching. I don't know if you want to call it long layoffs. I don't know if you want to call it one team being so overwhelmingly favored by number one Vegas and all of the national media, but it happened. So it goes from here. We got another one coming. Good thing about the NBA and all professional sports is you live another day. I thought there were a few coaching things that were going on, even with Rick Carlisle in the first half, not making an adjustment for the steals, but he made a great adjustment in the second half. And Indiana, it takes a minute to get used to the frenzy that Oklahoma's defense presents to you. I mean, they're very handsy. They got long arms. They don't have any guys you can target, period. Every team in the league has two guys, sometimes three you can target. They don't have anyone you can target. They're not going to bring anybody off the bench you can target. So then they're all over you, and they're all literally the same size, 6'6", 6'8", and then they got the two giants. for some reason he didn't start the big boys last night together, which we were all shocked. Who've been following him all year? Why go against what got you there? Starting the two big boys, and I think that hurt to a degree. I also think it hurt to a degree that Rick Carlisle is an NBA championship coach, and if anybody can find an edge at this level, it'd be him. It just may be motivating one individual player, but he's just a really, really good coach. He's a good player, and he's an NBA championship coach. So really good series. Rashaki, please.
Yes, I want to go to Coach Scott. Coach Scott? Are you there? Can't hear you. Oh, something going on with your sound, Coach. Okay, well, let me know when when your sound is together. We go to Brother Mshinda. Brother Mshinda?
His is muted.
No. All right, we'll go to Brother Rick.
Hey. Well, great, entertaining game as usual. I mean, seems like in the playoffs, everything that's Indiana does is entertaining. Actually, I don't know. You get mixed signals with this playoff. We run the Boston Celtic tip, and we thought maybe they were a shoe-in, but actually we fooled ourselves, I guess. But but yeah, they actually, of course, they got put out. The Knicks did what they had to do, but once OKC was up by quite a bit, I thought it was pretty much done. But I know I did mention on one of the other podcasts we did that those Pacers are willing to play defense, and obviously showed it. I mean, Chet Holmgren seemed completely uncomfortable. I don't know if it was the nervousness of the NBA championship or what, but he was kind of ineffective, if you ask me. Actually, I didn't really see Hartenstein do much either. And like I was saying, compared to Karl Anthony Towns, even though Miles isn't that mobile himself, he puts himself in the right position most of the time. I think that was key. Nembhard seems to have gotten the confidence of his shot back. And I think part of that was when they gave him the assignment of sticking Brunson, and he did well against Brunson. And I think his confidence is boosting and boosting the more he can, raise havoc on that other point guard. But it's starting to look like Indiana's defense might make the difference. Williams, I think he kind of struggled too. The only one that was really doing a whole lot of work was Shea. I don't know, maybe. I mean, that's what I saw. I mean, I don't know, maybe everyone else saw something different, but that's kind of what I saw. I mean, and they only won by a last second shot, but at the same time they were down by quite a bit. So they like you said, Carlisle made the adjustment. Defensively, he made a great adjustment because it seemed like without Shea getting to the basket, even Shea was struggling a little bit on the shot. but without him getting to the basket, I didn't see any more firepower. So I don't know that defense of Indiana is kind of making a difference. It looks like.
Can I say one thing?
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead, Coach.
I think what happened with Shea was that he had a whole different attitude going into the first game of the finals. He took it upon himself to try to take control of the game early. I think 20 points in the first half or something. He wasn't looking for his teammates as much because it seemed like he does a lot of scoring in the fourth quarter. Whereas in that game, he scored a lot of points early, but the other guys kind of sat around and watched him score. He should have been passing the ball a little bit more to some of the other players to get them involved in the game. And that's what happened in OKC, I think. Got the big lead, and then those guys that normally score in the first and second quarter, they were afraid to shoot in the third and fourth quarter. And that's kind of my analogy of the game.
Interesting, Coach. I was thinking that when Rick was talking, that that he probably could have engaged the team more. I kind of thought that just now when Rick was saying, so that's an interesting point. What do you think about that, Ronnie?
I totally agree. But it all gets back to what I said at the beginning of the playoffs. Oklahoma City is unbeatable if Jalen Williams or J. Dub makes his average. Anytime he scores 20 points, we never lose. And he averaged 21.6, made third team All NBA, made second team All Defense. I'm a big fan. I love his game. This guy's really only 6'4.5", something like that.
That's all?
Yeah, that's
I
all
thought
he
he
is.
was like 6'9".
6'4.5" is what he is. They list him as 6'6".
That's probably all that hair he got.
The bottom line is this: is he? I thought that it was criminal that he made the All-Star team above D Book. I just thought that was criminal. But I look at that. I also thought it was criminal that Darius Garland made the All-Star team. It can only be 12 players or 15 players, whatever. It's 12 players, I think. I just didn't think that J Dub and Darius Garland made the All-Star team because of their team's records and they were running away with the league. And it's justifiable. You get 2 All-Stars. Sometimes they've had 3 All-Stars on teams running away with the league. So they had to get a second All-Star. I don't believe, and you can't tell me no way, no form, no fashion that J Dub is a better player than D Book. I'm not listening to that. No kind of way. No kind. D Book to me is headed to a first ballot Hall of Fame. Started in the Olympics over Ant-Man, and he should have. Who probably was the best 2-guard on planet Earth. That was American, at least. And and Steve Kerr praised his work in that game. And for him not to make even the dang All-Star team, and then get shunned for All NBA, and he averaged 26 points with KD on the team. They both averaged around 26. And he plays defense. He can play the point. He's a good defensive player, and he's a pure scorer. I just didn't see J Dub being a better player than him. You can't tell me that. But as I said at the beginning of the playoffs, if he doesn't get his average, they struggle. The fact that he is an All-Star, and their record so far now is 80-19. In 19 of those, in all 19 of those defeats, I guarantee you, J Dub was under 20 points. He's that important to what they do, because you're not going to stop Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Period. Period. I mean, period. He's good at what do Kid Perk say? He's good for 30 getting up out of the bed. He's going to get the shots. He's the point guard. He's got the ball, and he's just a great player.
Yeah, he's 6'5", Ronnie.
Yeah, that's what they said about J Dub. Yeah, which means he's 6'4.5". But but he's not 6'6", no kind of way. Because he and Shea were on a show earlier this year, and he was talking about Shea said, I was 6'4.5", and he was talking about how good he was And when he's good, he's really dang good. He was talking about how
He's a long 6'4" or
well
6'5".
he's got a really long arm. His arm, he's got long monkey arms, and he weighs about 220. So he's got a good base. You know, he weighs as much as Dort does. Everybody talking about Dort is a linebacker playing guard. Dort is just 225. That's not that big. But
Yeah,
for
not at that
a
height.
lot of but at 6'4" and 225, that's not that big.
Yeah.
Well, you think it's not that big, but it looks big.
Yeah,
It looks big,
looks
but I mean,
pretty stocky.
Because that's like me. I look way bigger than I am. Seem
yeah.
like to me. I'm like, damn, I didn't think I looked that big, but people think I'm big. I'm
But
about 6'4", 230. So
yeah, and
How tall is Dort?
that's not big for the NBA. I'm a big man in the real world at 6 foot and 215. I'm bigger than most people in the world. Rick, I'm sure you are too. We're bigger than most people. Anybody 6 foot is bigger than most people in the world. The average American male is 5'9.5".
That's true.
So we're big to people.
Coach
Right.
asked, how tall is Dork?
Dort is 6'4".
Oh, so he's my height. Okay.
Yeah, he's 6'4" and 220, 225. He listed 220, but he looks like he could be 225 to 230. But great lateral quickness, great anticipation, strong as an ox. A 220-pound NBA player is a beast to deal with.
Yeah. Now,
Quickness and all that other stuff they got going for them.
I wanted to see if Brother Mshinda is going to unmute. Brother Mshinda?
Mhm.
He probably just listening now. Well, let me give I want to give an observation. I was watching the game, and two things. And I'm gonna talk about something and see if y'all think something about that. But the first half, it was Shea the first half majority of the time, and the defense that Oklahoma was putting on them with the 19 turnovers that they had. But I think it was attributed to the type of offense that Indiana was running. They had a stagnant, stand around the perimeter offense with no movement. And when they did move, it was off somebody penetrating, and then they trying to make a pass or passing around. And it seemed like the defense was always set, and this is where they could get all of these turnovers. And I was kind of like, I called a few people saying, what is going on with this offense? And what is Rick Carlisle doing to allow them to just stand around like that? So I was saying that if they make an adjustment, well, they should make an adjustment. And I wanted to see if the coach was going to do it, because you can't go through a whole game without making adjustments that's conducive to winning. So he did make an adjustment in the second half, but it seemed like it was still that cushion, that 10 to 12 point cushion, all the way until like the end of the fourth quarter. So Oklahoma City seemed like they kind of froze and let them come back right at the end. And this is what I'm coming to. I was looking at the NCAA tournament, and I don't know if this is a vibe or not, and we're going to see it play out. But if anybody was watching the NCAA tournament, Florida's last three games, they were losing until the end of the game. It seemed like the other teams just froze up and allowed them to do what they do on that point guard for Florida. I don't remember his name, the light-skinned brother. He has some heart. Huh?
Walter Clayton.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see him in the pros, because if he can bring that confidence to the pros, he gonna be lighting them dudes up in the pros. He was fearless.
Yeah, he's a pure shooter too.
Yeah, so now I'm looking at how Indiana has been coming back on people. And the other teams seem to like, like what's going on? You letting these dudes just come and walk you down like that. So I'm wondering if it's going to be some type of outcome like that in these finals where Oklahoma City freezes up in some kind of way. But I don't. That's just an observation, and I'm looking. I'm gonna tell you, I still think Oklahoma City should win this series. But I think because they lost this first game, it's making it a little bit more tighter, like 51%, 49. Ronnie disagreed with me, but
I totally disagree with that number.
Okay, so what's the number you can put on it, Ronnie?
75-25.
Okay, so that's just something that I was checking out because
And neither one of us really know. I mean, we don't know. I mean,
yeah,
no one has any way of knowing. As we'd be rich men.
Yeah.
We'd be rich men. If we had an idea of what's going to happen, we'd be wealthy, all of us.
So now, another thing about it is, whenever, because I coach with Coach know that we used to talk basketball all the time because we was right there with each other. You have to have an in-game adjustment as a coach. You see it, and I know coaches call timeout, but once you call a timeout, you have to make the adjustment. And you got to see how the game is flowing. And I think Rick Carlisle was able to do that in the second half, but that cushion was still there. So Oklahoma City basically didn't do the job that they should have last night because they had the game. Yeah. Okay, well, that's my little take on it. That's my observation that, I was harping on.
I was looking at Holmgren's demeanor. It seems like, like I mentioned earlier, it seemed like he had some nervousness in him. And I didn't see that fire in him like the previous series. I don't know if y'all saw that or something.
I saw it.
Yeah.
We saw it.
Yeah. And even that one play where he got by the defense and went to the basket, I thought it was a automatic layup. Of course, Miles came over, but it still looked like he could have made that layup, but he kind of laid it off the rim and missed a shot.
He should have dunked it.
Actually, he's key to what they're going to do as well. Absolutely. Against the big guys.
Absolutely.
And of course, Williams, he would have to have his confidence to be able to score, not at will like Shea, but we know what he could do. So those are some key cogs there. Even Hartenstein, I didn't see the teardrop or anything.
I have a point too that earlier I talked about the fourth quarter. Those players, Holmgren and the center, seemed like they froze up because early in the game they only had a few shots. So in the fourth quarter, they were missing shots they normally make in the second quarter. I think it goes with experience. This is a very, very young team, and I think that showed in the first game. It's like the first game against Denver when they lost at home. Yeah. I think they'll come back in the next game and win by a lot. I won't say a blowout, but I think they'll win by a lot.
My take on it exactly.
And it's hard to juggle that. Exactly what you're saying, Coach. They could come in with that chip on their shoulder and just put in some massive work at the same time. Oh, wow, my battery. At the same time, I don't think it's good to give Indiana any confidence, especially defensively. And it was almost like they felt they could stop everybody but Shea. So
one thing about Indiana also too is that they've done their job. Their job was to get one.
Yeah.
If they get another one, then that's great, gravy. But Indiana's feeling good about themselves now after one game. Just like the Cleveland series, the New York series. They just want to get one. They did their job. If they get another one, they got a chance to win the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
I agree wholeheartedly.
I agree.
And not just Indiana and Oklahoma City. That goes with any two teams in this position like that. Mm-mm. Not just this one in particular. Mm-mm. And again, we have no clue. We
But
think
one
we
thing,
know Oklahoma City will come back. We're pretty sure of it, but maybe Indiana's time. I don't think so. Vegas doesn't think so, but who knows? It's sports.
but you got to give it to Indiana. They they make it entertaining. Each game they've made entertaining. Um, they and like I was saying earlier, when probably a couple of sessions we had before, um, Halliburton. Uh, I was saying he's great at jumping the passing lane. I'm at the point now where I believe he's the best in jumping the passing lane in the league today. Because
If you
when I
ain't
saw
got yeah.
when I saw him do it multiple times in this last game, it brought me back to what I said before about his ability to jump the passing lane. So that his ability to do that is probably key in their defensive setup too, because he has great anticipation, and court awareness is there too. So OKC, they're definitely gonna have to watch their passes, off the ball. I mean, off the defender.
Hey, fellas, this is Coach. I got to sign off. Good talking with you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Take care, Coach.
All right, Coach.
All right, talk to you.
Thanks for coming, man. Brother
Talk
Mshinda,
again. All right.
Brother
Rick.
Mshinda. I guess he's just listening like,
Rick.
Yo.
Rigo knows, but I got to meet my man last night. I got to meet Zeke last night at the game. I was going to get popcorn,
Uh-huh.
and we almost ran right into each other.
Who, Isaiah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I took a picture with him last night.
That's cool.
Walked down to the popcorn stand, and we were both teasing Kenny Smith with his legs go like this, man.
Yeah.
And it is just and Rio and I talked about it before you came on, Rick. He's tall as Rigo.
Oh, Kenny Smith?
Yes.
Really?
Really. I never knew he
Okay.
was that big. In my mind, I was thinking he's 6'2", 6'3". He's
Yeah.
not that. He's at least 6'4". Because he stood over. Me and Isaiah and I were the same size.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm just
I thought Kenny was my height too. I thought he.
oh man, Kenny's Rigo's height. Every bit of that. But
Really?
Shaq, I shook hands with Shaq. His hand just enveloped mine. And of course he's up here. He's huge. But then I saw Big Perk, because where our seats were, we were two rows down from the ESPN booth. And Big Perk is not quite as tall as Shaq, but he's wider.
Right.
He's 6'10", probably 3 1/4. Huge
Right.
guy. Huge guy. Dwight Howard was there last night. A lot of NBA players. All NBA royalty.
Oh, y'all, I'm sorry I came on late, good brother. I didn't mean to interrupt your build.
Yeah, that's way to go,
Okay.
Rashaki.
Zeke was a man.
Atiba. Hey, how you doing, Atiba?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. I'm just driving up PCH right now, but I definitely wanted to tap in and talk sports about the finals and everything.
Okay, well, we're towards the end, but you can give us your take on the game last night.
My take is, I feel like a lot of people are doubting the Indiana Pacers about what they can do. A lot of people that I've talked to have said, OKC is going to sweep them in 4, win by 20 each game. But the Indiana Pacers are very resilient. Tyrese Halliburton is obviously the most clutch player right now in the playoffs. He's 5 of 5 in clutch time shots, and I just think people are underestimating Indiana. They have a lot of bodies that they use at a lot. I think they use like all 11 or 12 players that they use at a time. So it's like, and they all play well. They've been playing well all season. They're really good in defense, just like OKC. But OKC still has the MVP. I still think OKC is going to win the series, but I don't think it's going to be a 4-game. I think it'll go 6 games. I mean, I would like for it to go 7 games, and every game is good, but I don't think it's
We
going
all
to
agree it'd be at least 6.
be right.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah, for sure. But that's my take.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming, Brother Atiba. Ronnie?
None other than to I would like to get Rick. Rick, but did you respond about Tibbs and the Knicks? What do you think about that scenario? You too, T. Just
Is that about who in the Knicks?
about Tibbs getting fired from the Knicks.
Oh, you mean the coach?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they fired him 2 days after the loss.
Really?
And the players on the Knicks think that Rick Brunson has way too much influence. Of course, Rick is Mr. Brunson. Yeah, the players are not happy about Rick Brunson's influence on the team, and I don't know if he's the lead assistant coach, and I don't know if management will keep him to keep Brunson happy. Probably, because the players run the league, not the coaches.
They definitely got to keep Jalen Brunson happy for sure.
They got to keep him happy, but I mean, if his dad is getting to the other players, that can't be either.
True.
That can't be. That's a formula for just disaster. And I would think that if I'm coming in as the Knicks' new coach, Rick Brunson got to go.
I think I honestly wouldn't even want to be the Knicks head coach if Tibbs comes in, gives the Knicks the best season they've had in 25 years, back-to-back 50-plus wins. You take them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Even if you lost, it's like I still got you there, and I can only if I'm Tibbs, I can only play with what y'all gave me. Y'all made the trade for McCall Bridges. Y'all gave up 5 draft picks. Y'all did all that, not me. So I got to deal with what y'all gave, and I took it there, and y'all let me go. It's unfortunate.
This is really unfortunate. Karl Anthony Towns, great offensive player, don't play a lick of defense.
Yeah, one block all season, all playoffs, something like that. One block.
Yeah, that's bad right there. That's bad.
Yeah.
What do you think? You never commented on the Tibbs situation, Rashaki. What do you think about it?
Well, now that you guys saying some other things like the Brunsons and all of that, yeah, if there's total nepotism, and I mean, yeah, it's just unfortunate. He got them where he got them. He was a well performing coach for the organization. I just think that it may be good for him because he's gonna land somewhere else. That's for sure. Somebody gonna say, "Oh, you got rid of him? Oh, we'll take him."
Plus, he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, I mean
he don't have to coach another day.
Right.
Yeah, he wrote his ticket is already written. So
the only thing...
I mean, you have all of these players from Villanova on the team. And it's like, what? I mean, even though they played well as a unit.
Yeah.
But they weren't good enough for no. Rightfully, they were supposed to lose because they weren't good enough. And you made a great point when you said that them boys can't play no defense. Brunson,
Indiana.
And you got to want defense is desired too. You got to actually want to do that stuff. So Brunson put all of that energy into offense, but You know, you got to play defense too. And at Villanova, he was playing some defense. He had no choice.
Oh yeah, because that homeboy wasn't playing that.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, he was for real. But he ain't playing a lick in the league. Not a lick.
I really don't think Jalen Brunson needs to play defense. You know what I'm saying? That just wasn't his role for the Knicks. Like his role was to score because in reality, if he's not scoring, if he's not putting up shots and putting up numbers, it's like who really else is really scoring? Like, yeah, Mikal Bridges, he could score as well, but he wasn't as consistent. Jalen Brunson obviously won most clutch player of the year. So it's like, and he came through. Like, you know what I'm saying? He stepped up and he delivered when he had to. But it's about, he is a liability on the defensive end, though. Yes, because I think mainly just because of his height.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But they're gonna go at little guys like that. For sure. Then the Knicks owe Tibbs $30 million. So it just makes you think that there's something more than what's going on there for them to be willing to eat that $30 million. Because I'm like Rashaki. I wouldn't want to go coach the Knicks. I got a no playing center on defense, no defense playing center. My best player, Jalen Brunson, don't play no defense. I got a guard I gave up, a wing I gave up 4 first-round draft choices for, who has never even been all NBA, by the way. And then Adam Boy, OG, might show up, might not show up. Really good player.
Yeah, OG didn't really show up like that. I think Tibbs, should have been
Great
trying
job.
to at least get his bench involved. He should have tried to get the bench involved more.
Yeah.
Same way you see Indiana. Indiana, obviously, they've used their bench all season. Now they're in this position and they can deliver it. And that's what you got to do. I can't not give my players reps and then expect for them to deliver when I
Exactly.
have to put them in,
Exactly. And when he did give them reps to tell you they played well.
They did.
They really did. I mean, you take him in, you tell him, look here, dude, you ain't playing all these these high paid guys. You're not paying my guys 35, 36 minutes a game. No more. That's over.
Yeah.
That's over. You're going to integrate your bench into this. You're going to develop these players. After all, you are supposed to be a coach. Coach these guys, get them ready to play, get them in the rotation. Because you see that the way the league is going now, teams with 8, 9, 10, 12 players are the ones who are the most successful, who are the last two standing. Young teams with lots of contributing players go to the bench, and there's literally no drop off. Indiana, they go to their bench. Same thing with the Thunder. They go to their bench. No big drop off.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, you got to change your coaching style. But, that's Leon Rose again, the general manager doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's upper management.
Yeah, that's just to
And
eat
obviously,
30
this has always been a thing with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Like they
always.
And my dad's from New York, diehard Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Spurs fan. I'm born and raised in Texas. I'm a Spurs fan. So I remember in '99 when the Spurs beat the Knicks, and my dad was so sad. And it's like since then nothing has happened, and it's always because James Dolan and all those people at the top, they just destroy the franchise. They're even lucky that people even still come to the game like that.
Oh man, they locked in, dude. They got it's New York.
Right.
It's like there's never not gonna be a full house for the Lakers.
Right.
I mean, never. I mean, could you have ever imagined that in LeBron's career that there would be a player on his team that's better than him?
Right.
Could you imagine that? I mean, in my mind, and I tell people this, and I'm a serious Laker fan as well. I think the Lakers got worse when they got Luka.
Oh yeah. I think, hey man,
You can't give up the best center in America. He's the best American center. All the other centers from somewhere else. AD.
I think after the 2020 thing, I think the Lakers should have got rid of LeBron.
I think they should get rid of him now.
Yeah.
Now and take Bronny with him. Get rid of him now. They could go get somebody like Jared Allen and Darius Garland from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Let him go back home. He has a no trade clause, of course, but if They go in there and every player in the league with a no trade clause, they go in there and tell you, you gone, you gone.
Right. Because
You
it's
gone.
like, and I agree with LeBron. Like, you know, I wouldn't take a pay cut neither if I'm LeBron.
No. You ain't taking a damn of my money because he's earned it.
Yeah. But Lakers, yeah, it's like I'd get rid of LeBron. In reality, this is what I think. I think the Lakers should have picked up Dwight Howard.
You know, they would have been more competitive, but he's flawed. And he's
Yeah.
been out in a couple of years, man. He's flawed. But they'd have been more competitive. But to go into the playoffs with Jackson Hayes is the height of just stupidity.
Right.
Not stupidity, but just, I don't know what that is. But the thing that really got me about that whole situation with the Lakers, so many people who should know better. Fans, my friends that I went to Laker games when I had quarter of a season ticket for the last 6 years I was there in LA.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about we're gonna make some noise. And what kind of noise you gonna make when you are going out the door?
Especially in the West.
Yeah, I mean, please. They could have made some noise in the East,
Right.
but not in
Yeah,
the West.
in the East they could have did better, but in the West, no way. Like, and now it's gonna even get even worse because all the other teams are getting better.
Ooh, San Antonio, don't let them get somebody.
I think the Spurs, man, the Spurs are either gonna get Giannis or KD.
If they
And,
get either one of those players, boy.
and they don't even have to really give up that many players. You know, they got 2 lottery picks. They
If they
got
get either
players.
one, look out, NBA.
That's what I'm saying.
Look
Like,
out, look
especially
out.
if they want to, especially if Giannis or KD want to win now. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the NBA and if I'm Giannis or KD and I want to win now or I want to have the best chance of winning in a year or two, I would go to the Spurs.
Or even the Thunder.
The Thunder, but I feel like, you know, the Thunder are gonna have to make a lot of trades to get Giannis. And do they have
You
the cap
think
space?
the Thunder has the cap space, so do the Spurs.
Mm.
They both have the cap space, but they're gonna have to give up key players to get a player of that caliber.
But I think if the Thunder win the finals, why would I make a trade?
Oh, you don't need it. But
Yeah,
if the
yeah,
Thunder win the finals, that means the team that J-Dub played well. And
right.
if he plays well, that's your second man that you need. But I still think they need a real shooter. A real
I agree.
shooter.
I agree with that. They need somebody that can spot up
They
in
need
that.
a real shooter. We got some good shooters, but they need a real shooter.
Right. I agree. Well,
All
good
right.
brothers. I need to get off. I'm about to go inside this place. It was great
Yeah,
talking
we
to
done
you.
too.
I definitely want to get on the next one too.
Okay, please.
All right,
Thank you.
brother. Thanks for coming.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All right, Ronnie. Final
Yeah,
word.
yeah, that was good. I need to get on. That's we'll know more in a week.
Yep. Let's do it again.
Yeah, we shall. I look forward to it. All right, man. Peace out.
Peace.